These mics are fucking.
Yeah, like what is that?
The click of this.
Oh, that's that scraping?
Alright, the video live, so.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, y'all can proceed with your sharing.
Solid.
Be so kind.
Yes, sir.
I can make sure I can watch it on mobile device in a little bit.
Alright. Zoom this. Put out islands.
What?
Family.
What you want me to put?
Family islands.
Nigga, what's the difference?
Alright.
What you want me to put? Jesus Christ, man. Alright. You want me to edit it?
No,
You sure?
we already started.
Okay.
Wait, these mics crazy? Wait.
Okay, what am I hearing? Am I hearing?
The video up, right? You
Yeah,
want to see it?
yeah, it's up.
Alright.
Maybe I should exit this.
I just want to pull it up on here to make sure it's solid on the phone. And I can close it because I don't want to take up too much of the
Okay,
internet.
yeah, share it. Okay.
My Lord.
I'll say your destiny.
Huh? No, that was, I do a test before. That's when I was testing to see if it was going to play on mobile devices. I didn't want that same issue to happen, so I wanted to run a test beforehand to make sure
Okay.
everything was copacetic. Jesus, I
I
got
want
it.
you on this back, man.
Huh?
What did you say, Teej?
I said I was just watching y'all. I cut y'all off just now, but I was just watching y'all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, word.
Solid.
Alright.
Alright, yeah. You could, what you said again?
But I can even hear like.
Everything. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you could bring it in while I try to find this video and share it on.
Gee.
Let me not do that.
Already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur podcast.
So professional.
We are your, I know, right? We are your hosts. I'm Gail. You is.
Travis.
And you is.
I's Greg.
He's Greg.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And we actually have a special guest. Well, he's not in studio, but he is joining us via the Zion Lee phone lines. Mr. Teej Grant
Yeah.
in Freeport, Grand Bahama.
The Red
Say hello,
Rasta.
Teej.
Stop calling me Rasta.
Listen, man. Hey, you go on, grow locks on me and thing, and you all. I mean, you on a Rasta vibe, man. I just call you Rasta. That's how I see it.
Lord, there we go.
Listen, if I feel like a pile of ice cream one day, I shouldn't be getting evil looks from people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, okay. You won't be able to go on the Kentucky line in peace.
Knowledge.
I don't need to meet, but at least I want some ice cream at least though. And just a little bit of dairy.
All right. I can stop then.
That's his mic. Oh, I'm like, you
What?
a little faint.
Yeah, a little. That's what I want to know. It was clear earlier.
Yeah. Teej, your mic up?
Is that a little better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's
That
better.
works.
There we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And today we're actually going to talk about doing business on the family islands. And of course, Teej is located in Grand Bahama. And we want to, open it up to anybody who may actually have a business or have started a business on any family islands. If you have any input or any suggestions, comments, please feel free. But of course, we tapped Teej for today to see how people are able to do business. We've talked about Nassau a lot, and our experience is based around being in Nassau. And so we wanted to open it up to other Bahamians or on other islands to see what their experience is like when it comes to starting a business and being an entrepreneur in your own community. So that's basically where we're going to head with the show today. We don't have any specific questions. We
Yeah.
want the conversation
We're
to
just rolling
flow.
it. Yeah.
But, as a premise or a topic, that's basically what we're going to tackle today.
So, two things. One, shout out to technology because, we are doing a podcast
Yeah.
and linking to someone on another
Via the
island
internet?
right now. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
for real. Cool.
And then just out of curiosity, because this is a very, it's a very interesting topic because again, like you said, it's very centric to Nassau, and we have other family islands that make the Bahamas in general. Was there any particular reason why this topic came up, or is it just like did something happen, or you noticed like doing business or traveling between islands where it's like, maybe we should talk about this, or is it just like
No,
in general?
it just came to mind to say, we're in Nassau. A lot of our conversation is based around doing business in Nassau and being entrepreneurs on New Providence. And the fact is that there are other people on other islands that are interested in doing business. They may not necessarily want to do it in New Providence. They may want to do it, or start a business wherever they're at. And then assuming that we're supposed to be in the hub, we're in the capital, right? And we have all of these barriers that can block us when it comes to us doing business here. So I was just thinking or imagine if we weren't on New Providence. Like, imagine we're on a family island trying to do this thing.
Sick.
And I thought about Teej, I thought about Matthew, Wild Goose, and I think I had noticed a page, Teej, that you guys had posted recently. Smokin' Joe, I believe, is the name of it. Is that correct?
Is he still
Say
there?
it again. Sorry, you broke up just now.
The business page that Matthew, Wild Goose, and yourself had promoted. Is it Smoking Joe? Is that correct?
Yeah, Smokin' Joe Cafe.
Smoking Joe Cafe. And then we are familiar with Teej Grant, of course, who is an entrepreneur in his own right, and other people that are easy or whatever, how it is to try and start a business on another island. So that's where that came from.
Well, Teej, if you want to hop in and just kick it off, like you probably give us that perspective on both sides, because I think you've been in Nassau for a while, and then you moved back to Grand Bahama, so you kind of been doing business and entrepreneurial things in kind of both areas. Kind of give us that that duality, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you guys for having me first and foremost. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Doing business in New Providence, it flows a little bit better. Here in Grand Bahama, we go through the Port Authority, and going through the Port Authority helps us to kind of expedite some things, and certain people can get certain concessions if they pay for it. So, example, if you pay $5,000 deposit for a bond, you're able to get things duty-free on imports.
Oh, wow.
And so they have certain concessions in place for entrepreneurs like that. But besides that, there's really no difference between Freeport and Nassau besides the time it takes to get things here on the island here in Freeport, especially if you have to import some things. I would say that it's just a little bit more costly to do it here in Freeport, and it would be a big help to many entrepreneurs like myself if the government were to even consider lifting or reducing taxes for first-time entrepreneurs. I think that'll be something brilliant that this government could put forward in the first 100 days. Maybe we'll hear about it soon. I hope so.
When
But,
you say lifting taxes, sorry, you mean on imported goods, on, let's say, fees and licenses? What do you mean specifically?
Yeah, well, not fees and licenses, but imported goods, or let's say I had to import my coffee machines and also my espresso machines. We don't make them here in the Bahamas, but I know a couple of people that rent them out. But of course, for a cafe, you need your own.
Right.
And so maybe if they can lift taxes or make it a little bit easier for me to bring in an espresso machine, it'll give somebody more of an incentive to start a particular kind of business, to attack a certain kind of niche in the economy.
Do you find that the process for, let's say, a business license, is it an easy process to do in Freeport?
Yes, it's much easier. It just takes a little bit longer to get things established, but as far as getting a business license, it's a bit easier when you go through the Port Authority. It's just basically you go in there, you send an application, and they look at it, they approve, and you pay, and then they inspect the premises where you plan to open your business. And once they inspect, and then they give you your license. It's pretty seamless, to be honest with you.
Did you have to pursue capital for any of your business ventures in Freeport? And if so, what would you say is the ease of attaining capital for a business venture? If I'm a young entrepreneur in Freeport and I would like to do something or I'd like to start something. In your opinion, how easy would it be for me to attain some funding or some capital for that?
I don't know if y'all know, but unemployment here in Freeport is it has been at an all-time high before the hurricane.
What is there? Like the round figure, the percentage or something like that? Is it?
They were saying 17, 18%, somewhere around there. But in reality, I would go to like 23, 24%.
Wow.
Damn.
I think that's a more honest figure based on who's in homes, who qualifies to work and whatnot. But I think the last figure we got was 17, 18%. There's not anything here to do. Like there's no way to build financially to that, and I think that needs to be addressed too. We want people to be innovative, and we want them to create, but at the same time, there's no employment out there for them to even build. And even when they go out there by themselves and do the minimum, they're not making enough
to build their own
go out there
capital.
and build. The cost of living is so high that they have to put all that money back into survival. And so there's no break here for people in Freeport. I don't have no advice. I'm not going to even lie to the people.
So
I have no advice.
And even on top of that,
I would say,
So
no, I would tell you what I did. I was blessed to be born in the States, right? And so I have a privilege where I can move back and forth. But I went to New York, and that's where I worked for a while, and that helped me a lot with attaining capital, and that
So
and
basically,
loan.
personal funding is your only option at this point.
So let me ask this.
Yes, the base.
Given all of that, right? Why would you decide to open a business in Grand Bahama? Given all of that information, knowing how hard it is, knowing how many people are unemployed, why would you choose Grand Bahama as opposed to Nassau, where most of the population is situated? Why would you choose Grand Bahama to open a business?
that's a good question.
Yeah, this is it. I definitely love being here in Grand Bahama. I love living here in Grand Bahama. Island life is sweet. You know what I mean? At least I get sunlight at least 12 hours a day, whereas in New York you could get it 5, 6 in the winter sometimes. You know what I mean? So I love being here. I love being home.
Yeah, and that's home. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it
is home.
Yeah.
And it's much different from Nassau. You know what I mean? So the stress is in here. The pressure on the street. That have a lot of people that would like a coffee shop right down the street in the town area. Right now, there's one, but it's actually a gift shop with a coffee kiosk. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I just saw a
Dedicated.
niche that I could attack, and that's why I wanted to open this business. I'm pretty sure by my research that I will have enough to sustain. I won't knock it out the park, and I won't be rich off of this, like filthy rich, according to my numbers now. But at least I'll have enough to live comfortably here, meet the cost of living, and maybe if I want me and my girlfriend want to pop out 1 or 2 kids, maybe we could do that into marriage. You know what I mean?
Right. But yeah, that's
right.
an important
So that's what I'm
thing.
looking at.
That's an important thing. Is you had to do research and understand the market better before making these moves. No matter what it is, it's like at first when you think about whatever family islands it may be, I know the first thing that comes to my mind, especially around this topic, is like to have a market there. Like you hit your business the right way and you focus on a niche. Like if people want coffee and there's no options to have coffee, you can make it work if you focus on that particular niche.
Yeah. I had another question, Teej, actually. In terms, we live on an island, right? Sometimes barriers to entry can include people themselves as opposed to other external forces. Did you have that experience? I had a friend, the reason why I'm asking, I had a friend who tried to start a business on another island, and because they were not deep within the community and they weren't part of a certain family and stuff like that, they received a lot of roadblocks and ended up giving up. So I'm asking, did you have a similar experience, or do you know of any experiences on the island where you weren't in the right family or you weren't, of the right community that would hinder you from being able to start a business?
Well, yes. I don't want to get too much into it because in the process of moving into here, I don't want to,
Jeopardize
anything.
Okay.
But at the same time, you always get that. You know what I'm saying? People on social media just don't like Greg, and they never met him. They don't know him from a can of paint.
For true, yeah.
But because he speaks truth and because he provokes people with conviction, it's just like, okay, I don't like him.
Yeah.
And so you always get that in life, and you just got to push through it. Sometimes it costs you money even, but even if it does cost you money, you chalk it up to a learning experience, and you know you got to cover all your bases and put up all your fences in business, and you really got to cover your behind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did fear come into play at any point when you decided that you were going to do this thing? Like, did you ever get into those situations maybe stacked against you?
No, I didn't come into this thing fearful. Maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I would have been scared out of my wits.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, fear, that's a personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, just in self-reflectance, you must be able to look within yourself and be able to determine, am I a because if you're scared in this field, these people will eat you alive.
Word.
This is the islands. You know what I'm saying? It is better in the Bahamas. But you have some people over here that are sharks, and they don't care about you. They don't care if you have a family.
Everybody
they don't care if you got kids to feed. If they can take money from you, they will. You know, and so it's just a reality we have to deal with.
Interesting. So when are you looking to open up the coffee shop?
Well, we had a setback, you know, and this is something that I'm learning too. You know, I'm learning how
Tell
to
us
go
about it.
things here.
What kind of setback?
Correct.
Maybe it's vague.
It's a hard-hitting question.
If you don't want to be specific,
Tell us
maybe you could say.
hey, that's the show. That's the show for good information. Tell us.
Yeah,
Now you don't have to divulge if it's
All
anything
your
personal.
business, yeah.
But if there was a barrier on the business, or something that, if it's a setback that other people may run into, maybe they can learn from your experience. So if you could
Correct.
dive into it a little bit, let us
Right.
know what that setback was.
Correct. Well, I don't mind, because if it's gonna help somebody else, you know, that's what I want. You know, the setback is this. You know, location is everything, and sometimes we look at a location being as great when we first see it, and we fall in love with it based on what we personally want, but we don't think what the people want. You know, we got to provide something that they feel that they need. You know, and so. With that said, it's not even about me anymore. And I think with the previous location, I made it more about me. So me and my business partner, Matthew Wild Goose, we decided to get into another spot. And so that's the setback right now. We just wanted to make sure that we're there at a place where people will feel comfortable, and where we can provide quality coffee, top quality coffee, the best on the island.
Man, I ain't no setback yet, man. That don't sound like
Well,
a setback. That sound like an adjustment you made. That sound like a step forward or
I have
adjustment.
a question though. How did
Correct.
you how
That
did
is a
you
good way to
realize
look at
the
it.
location needed to change? Did you have specific feedback from customers? Did you do a survey? How did you kind of gauge that?
No, just based on the research we did before, we missed a few things, and this is why it's important to have like weekly meetings, especially if you have a business partner. You have to sit down with them and meet even more than a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when we sat down and we were reevaluating things, we just decided that it wouldn't be the best spot for us at the time, and that we could really capitalize and maximize at another space. And so that's why we decided to do that.
Knowledge.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, that constant communication is major.
Communication is important, and the thing is, with two men, you know, in the Bahamas, men are not raised to communicate well.
Right.
You know,
right.
and so with two men communicating, it can be a bit rocky sometimes. And so if you go into business as a man over here with another man, you need to keep that line of communication open and force yourself, even when you don't want to. Force yourself to talk about things that are tough, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the relationship that you and that guy may have.
Yeah, you have to be dead transparent. Like you have to get.
You have to be.
You have to be.
You have to be because you don't want anything to come off as shady in this business. You know.
Now tell me, how much did you being from Grand Bahama factor into your decision to move to make the location switch? How much did it help or help you in making that decision, being from there? And if you weren't from there, would you have still made that decision, or would it have been more difficult? Like, how much did that come into play?
Oh, it had everything to do with it, Greg. You know what I mean? The thing is, I love being over there in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the life over there. I was good, and you know, I just kept thinking about home. You know, and a couple times I got homesick, but not really bad. But I really wanted to not even contribute, because that's not even my thing. But I wanted to put myself in a position where maybe I could be empowered to empower some other people around me. You know what I'm saying? And I just see this as a stepping stone business. I don't see this as it, you know, as the one that's going to knock everything else out the park. I just see this as just a building block, you know what I mean? And I hope to have other businesses as well. So this is just step one, you know, and my vision is a lot greater. It goes beyond Smoke and Joe Cafe. It's Smoke and Joe Cafe compounded with a bunch of other things that I really want going on here.
But the beautiful thing about it is that from this, what you're doing right now, even though this isn't the final thing, is like you still learning like these core lessons right now for yourself, but also these things that would take the pain and frustration out of other people's learning now if you're willing to share that with them. You know, like you're kind of doing it for a bunch of other people on top of yourself for you to build. And you know, like, and some of the problems won't even change. Like, it'll just get more complicated or more be at stake, but at least you'll have the foundation of how to tackle those problems.
And when these problems arise, man, like, you know, there's no need to get like down on yourself. Sometimes it's hard to like sit back and not get down on yourself, like, why did I do that? You know, or I should have done it different. But at the same time, man, you got to take everything as a learning experience and realize that people out there have real horror stories. You know what I'm saying? Babe. And somebody always has it worse. And so just to have the opportunity to make such an investment is already a blessing, one that I don't take for granted at all.
Smoke and Joe's, how did you come up with the name?
Well, Smoke and Joe Cafe, it comes from, you know, they call coffee Joe in some places, right? And so we'll provide smoking hot coffee. And then we have a cultural theme in there. And the theme is kind of like Bahamian folk and also rake and scrape. And we just wanted to pay homage to the late, great Joseph Spence, who is the Bahamian folk singer. And so they called him Smoking Joe. He always smoked a pipe or a cigar, and that's what we wanted to brand it after him, just to pay homage to the culture, just to contribute to the culture, and just to raise some kind of awareness, especially with the youngsters that are strolling the cafe, to say, who is Smoking Joe? And just to see his mural on the wall, they would say, okay, that's Smoking Joe. Let me Google him. Let me look him up. And they'll be educated more about Bahamian folk history.
Awesome.
Nice. What would you say right now is the morale or level of morale amongst entrepreneurs in your community? Are people encouraged to become entrepreneurs? I'm sure there are lots of ideas and a lot of things, you know, floating around in Freeport. Brilliant ideas, I'm sure. But in terms of the morale level or the
ability to execute,
not even ability, like the interest or the enthusiasm to execute,
just to be like, like this idea, let me think about, like, really, you know.
What would you say in your opinion?
Well, I'll put it to you like this: Freeport, I call it the city of dreams, because people here, that's what they do. They dream. You know what I mean? And some of the ideas they have are amazing, but they don't have the resources available to them to execute these things. With that said, they do the minimal. You know, they do what they could just to make $1, just to survive. And these people over here, they're hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just went to the store the other day, and walking in the store, I saw somebody who I know. He was like, "Well, you need any seafood? I got seafood in the truck. You want to come see what I got?" And you know, this dude been doing this for like about 3-4 years. You know, and this dude has a child. And his child isn't hungry. You know, his child doesn't look hungry. His child goes to private school still. So there are people here that hustle, you know. So I would say the morale right now is high, especially after the hurricane. You find a lot more young men employed working on roofs and trying to fix the roofs. And, you know, that's not an easy job at all. So they're getting paid a pretty penny just to do that, more than they would have gotten paid before the hurricane. So work is out here right now. People are very optimistic. I don't know if they're optimistic about this government. I know they voted them out here in Grand Bahama for sure. But I don't know if they're optimistic about what they're going to do. But I see people here doing for themselves, which is important.
Now, easier to do business with, the Bahamas government or the Port Authority? Because I look into open business in Freeport too. I love Freeport. That's my second home. That's going to be my ultimate home. So tell me now, what from your experience, I don't know if you ever dealt with the government in terms of opening a business in Nassau, but
yeah, I did.
Okay, so from your experience, what would you say is easier, the dealing with the Bahamas government or the Port Authority?
I can't call, you know what I mean? I would say this. I would think that the Port Authority is a bit more thorough with the way they do things. And the government is a bit more slack. In the past, you know.
Yeah, that's
I would say that. Say again?
That's now, dude. I ain't just the boss.
Right. I want to give these guys a chance.
It's only a couple days, Greg.
Start talking crazy.
Uh-huh. All right. Hello, you still there?
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, Gail, any more questions?
No, I think that's it. I think we've grilled we grilled Teej today.
But that's some good stuff, though.
Yeah,
man.
good information. Thank you very much for your time.
Are we at
Any
30
other
already?
questions?
Huh? Are we at-
Basically, yeah.
Almost.
wow.
Almost. Yeah. And I just want shout out to my girls, them at the Pepper Pot. When I've been over there.
Oh, my goodness.
I've been at the Pepper Pot Mussie almost every day. And I tell you one thing, look here, they got some good, I don't know if it's because I'm from Nassau and they could Mussie smell it teach, but boy, them gals and they're nice. They treat me nice when I was over there. They have a good attitude. It was good customer service.
Nice.
They was happy to see me, and I don't know if that's the general, thing in Freeport, but look here, them people was there nice to me in Pepper Pot. And I was buying food from there every day.
Yeah.
I'll say this. If I walk into a place over here and I see people in there and I don't speak, they'll speak up and they'll let me know that they have an issue with me not speaking, because I know for sure they'll speak to me.
Uh-huh.
So people are naturally they're cordial that are here.
I noticed that.
That's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I can't wait to
So,
hear it.
Teej, where's Smoking Joe on Facebook? Do y'all have a
got a
tag, a
Facebook.
at? What's y'all at?
This
How
can
we find
sound
y'all?
so bad. This can sound so bad,
Oh,
but
Lord,
I
here we
don't
go.
even know what the at is really.
Oh, my Lord.
It's,
For your own business?
Well, how we can find you?
Just
If we in
search.
Freeport, where you go?
in Freeport right now, we can release our location after the next week. So after
Okay,
the holiday
alright.
weekend,
Coming
we can release our
soon.
location. But as far as where you can find us on social media, look for Smoking Joe Cafe, and then on IG. What is the IG? Is it Smoking Joe 242?
Fire Teach,
Smoking
Matthew. Fire Teach.
We can figure it. We'll find it. We'll find it.
Y'all search Smoking Joe, yeah. Yeah, man. That's it.
It's been a rough. Several months.
Don't worry about that. But the important thing about that is that you keeping up the hustle, dog, and that's the thing people need to channel in on the most, is that everybody will have an idea and it'll get rough. It'll get rough. Some more rough than others, but you just gotta get that grit and you gotta just keep doing it. But especially if you have a dream or you want to do something important, not just for other people, for yourself, you gotta just keep it going. But it'll happen. Stuff like that happen. It isn't
Exactly.
perfect. Yeah.
There's something so wrong with young people feeling like they could take a chance on a number or take a chance on a spin, but they can't take a chance in business.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That
is something fundamentally wrong with the way we're being educated. I don't know where that comes from, but that seems to be the general consensus. I see youngsters will put $200 on a number.
Well, I know where it
I
comes
mean,
from. That's unfortunately, that's our culture, and we raise our children with low self-esteem. We don't really instill confidence in our children. Generally speaking, this is not me personally, but just generally speaking, because this is the way I was raised too. We don't instill enough
Right.
confidence in our children. We don't really make them believe that they truly can do whatever they put their minds to, and we bring them up with low self-esteem, and so they would rather put their faith, like you say, in a number or in somebody else as opposed to themselves. They lack that confidence to take that chance on themselves, so they would invest in somebody else's business as opposed to investing in themselves. And the best investment you can make is in yourself, but they don't realize
Correct.
that.
It's a risk, but at the same time, you minimize your risk by the work you put into your own business.
Right.
And just this whole kind of vibe with people not being able to do it, it just shows that some people, they just don't have that confidence in themselves,
Right.
to go out there and pursue what they really, really want. And I think that's terrible. That's terrible for our country. For a
Yeah.
small country like us,
Yeah.
I think that's terrible that our kids really feel that way, But it's time that we educate them, and it's time we set new examples, and young people actually excel. So I'm glad to see younger people in the House of Parliament. I'm happy to see younger people opening up establishments. Anytime I see that happen, I try to go support them, even if it costs $1 or $2 extra. I still try to go. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I would love to see more, and I just want to be the example. They say be the change, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, my brother, you are the change. You are the example. I want to commend you for taking this chance, especially on the island of Grand Bahama, because, we all know that Grand Bahama is underpopulated. It needs more people, because the infrastructure is there.
Yeah.
Everything is there. Everything is in place. It's just that they don't have enough people. And so you
Correct.
opening your business is a step in the right direction. We just need more people to take chances and open businesses. I believe if you build it, they will come. And you are building it.
I hope so.
We just need more people to build and continue to build in Grand Bahama, and hopefully we can bring that economy back, because it's such a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place, a clean place. Listen, boy, look, I feel like I just taking it. I will go right now. I'm almost ready to book a ticket. But once again, we commend you, Teej, for taking a risk, taking a chance, and we wish you all the best. I'm sure you'll be successful, because clearly you have done your research. Clearly you've proven yourself to be capable of handling it. So we wish you all the best, and we thank you for taking part in this wonderful podcast. And we hope to have you back soon. We want some updates. Hopefully,
definitely, I will update you guys.
And then you could make enough money so you could sponsor us too.
Yes.
So, hey, I got me and Gail go way back, and so yeah, I got Gail for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
See, connections, Bahamas business.
That's that light skin connection. So thank you once again, Teej. We appreciate it.
Yeah, but thank you.
And we'll hit you up.
Thank you all.
Hit you up in the future for, like I say, some more updates and some future episodes. Hopefully, you don't have any more. Well, would you call it setback? That didn't sound like a setback to me, but I know it put you back in terms of the date.
Right.
So
as far as the date, it's a setback, but
right.
it's an upgrade in any event.
Right.
Solid.
So thank you once again, Mr. Grant. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you
man.
soon.
Y'all are doing an amazing job. I appreciate y'all.
All right, thanks, Teej. Appreciate it, bro.
Bless.
And so we end our show.
You end up. All right, folks. That was we gave you all a gem just now. That was
Very dope show.
the wonderful Teej Grant talking about doing business on the island of Grand Bahama, which I think has so much potential. Listen to me. I think that island is supposed to have the most people. I mean, everything is in place. The infrastructure is there. The roads are there. It's just that we need people to move, and we commend Teej for stepping out on that branch and taking because that's a big jump. That's a big jump to do that. It's hard for people to start business in Nassau, where we got 450,000 people over here. So you could imagine on a small population like that to take that risk is major. But great show, Gail. Thank you. It was a good idea.
Yeah,
we
you
appreciate
see?
you. Shout out to Gail for setting up this episode.
We still have more good ideas. Still.
Wow.
Honorable.
What episode was this? This is episode
46, eh?
46.
What is that?
We got to do something special for 50.
Yo,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea.
I think we got to do something special.
All right, yeah,
Okay,
we come up
cool.
with something. Come up with something. Well, on that note, thank you people for tuning in. We appreciate you. We up the comments. I won't put on my phone.
Don't.
You guys see no
Let's
comment?
move on.
Let's move
Yeah.
on. Okay. All right, folks. So thank you for tuning in once again. We appreciate you. And until next time, losers make excuses and winners make adjustments. Take care of yourself. Start taking risks. Start believing in yourself. Invest in yourself. Let's move forward. Peace.
Bye.
It's the after show. It's the after show. Yeah, it's the after show. So this is what I'm thinking. We actually do an after show. We just tell people if they want to throw a question out. Doesn't necessarily have to be related to the show. We could answer those questions in the after show. There'll
Okay.
probably be one-off random
So you want to
fire
do it through the week or
questions.
something like that? We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that
Open
too.
it up to the group and then be like,
Yeah.
do y'all have any questions?
They just got to send the questions.
Yeah.
So just send the
That would be
questions.
cool.
All right, cool. So you all hear that? Send questions, please. Don't just watch. A lot of people
Right.
just lurk. I appreciate the people who actually comment.
Yeah.
All the Alan them and all the other
like-
folks, Crystal and all the people who actually
yeah,
comment and
yeah.
participate.
Shout out to
Thank you,
Sonny,
girl.
who's a big fan of our show.
Who?
Sonny.
Sonny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I thought you said
Hi,
Sonny.
No,
I almost got excited
That's
just now.
sponsored. No, not yet.
Yeah.
Soon though. Soon. So hopefully. And yeah, and
Who else you got?
that's it. I
That's
mean,
it?
you
Shout
know.
out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody
Big
who's
up.
watched the show.
Big up yourself.
Appreciate it. We made it to episode 46, ladies and gentlemen.
And yes, Falnado Dean, we are on SoundCloud. Please check us
Oh,
out.
yes. It's
Yes,
on
he did.
SoundCloud. I think I changed the name. Let me get this right. I think it's the W2E STC podcast on SoundCloud.
Yeah, but we're going to
So
post
that's
a
what it
link
is on
here.
SoundCloud.
So check it out later.
yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.